Hi dear friends and subscribers, welcome to the cricket happening show as usual. And well, in this particular cricket happening show we are going to start off from South Africa, where yesterday South Africa inflicted a very big victory over, in fact a very in the sense it was they inflicted a 141 run defeat over India in the first one day international to go 1-0 in this 3-match series. And well, we also saw the very sad passing of a person who has done a great deal as far as humanity is concerned, Nelson Mandela, and what a person he was. And as you know, there was a minute of silence everywhere in all the cricket grounds wherever it was played, in South Africa, in New Zealand, and also when India and South Africa were playing. So, well, we can only say let his soul rest in peace. Well, so that was it. And well, South Africa versus India. So South Africa winning that first match by 141 runs with a big score on the board, and India finding it very difficult, barring Mahendra Singh Dhoni, who showed some character there. Other than that, there was nothing to really talk about, and India were all out for 217, thus losing the match by 141 runs. Now, the next match, the West Indies-New Zealand match, well, we all thought that the match is going to be wrapped up quickly and things are going to become very easy for New Zealand. But on the other hand, thanks to Darren Bravos, who made his maiden double century in Test cricket, which was a wonderful knock. It was full of application and dedication, and it was also interspersed with lots of wonderful strokes being played through the cover and the point area, which is his strong point there for Darren Bravos. And Darren Bravos always has been a person who has been compared to Brian Lara. Darren Bravos' idol is also Brian Lara. And well, what a knock Darren Bravos played yesterday. The two strokes that he played of Neil Wagner through the covers, which was absolutely exemplary and full of class, and that was what enabled, because of Darren Bravos actually getting a double century. What it did for West Indies is West Indies put up the other day we saw that they were showing a lot of application when they put up 168 for 2 on the third day, and on the fourth day the West Indies really carried the effort for themselves by putting on a score of 443 for 6, with Darren Bravos going on to make an unbeaten 210 with 30 boundaries. So I'll come to that later, and New Zealand would have been definitely surprised, because right now we are going into the final day today, and West Indies are leading by 47 runs with 4 wickets remaining, with both Darren Bravos and Darren Sammy looking pretty good, the captain of the West Indies cricket team. Well, I will come back to that later. And then we will have a look at the second Ashes Test match, where, as I said, England on the previous day dropped some catches, and they have definitely allowed Australia to they have let Australia off the hook, because after keeping them to 273 for 5 on the first day, well, Australia went on to a total of 570 for 9 wickets declared, with Michael Clarke making his 6th century at his most at his happy hunting ground for Michael Clarke. Adelaide has been a very happy hunting ground for him. In fact, he made his 6th Test century at the Adelaide Oval, making 148 and combining into a partnership of more than 200 runs. It was a double century. In fact, it was exactly 200 run partnership for the 6th wicket, with Clarke Haddin, who is showing some great form in this particular Test series, by this time not missing upon the opportunity to go on to a century and making 118 and giving a tremendous support to Michael Clarke in the double century partnership, which enabled Australia to declare the innings close at 570 for 9. And then England lost the wicket of Alistair Cook. What a delivery from Mitchell Johnson. In fact, Alistair Cook thought the ball would be actually coming in. Instead, the ball swung out, and it actually passed the outside edge of Alistair Cook, who was absolutely stunned there as it went and knocked this off stump. So England actually finishing at 35 for 1 at close of play on this second day of this first Test match between Australia and England. Well, so let's start off from the first ODI, South Africa versus India, where South Africa put 358 for 4, and as far as India were concerned, as I said, they were finding it very, very difficult. Dale Steyn was absolutely on the money with his bowling. 8 overs, 3 maidens, 3 for 25. Sotsobe was the one who was left a lot to be desired because he really didn't bowl the right lines. 9 overs went for 52. Morne Morkel, well, he bowled superbly. He got the ball to bounce and he got the wicket of Shikhar Dhawan too. 8 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 29. McLaren, as you said, he is a much improved bowler. We saw that against Pakistan too, and today he showed us why by getting a double blow when he dismissed first he dismissed Suresh Raina. In fact, he dismissed Yuvraj Singh and he also dismissed Suresh Raina. Now, no, not Suresh Raina, it was Yuvraj Singh and it was Virat Kohli. In fact, he took the very important wicket of Virat Kohli when Virat Kohli tried to actually glide a ball through the slip cordon. Kallis took the catch, and the very next ball, Yuvraj Singh, he actually had Yuvraj Singh, the first ball that he bowled Yuvraj Singh was a bouncer, and Yuvraj Singh was fending at it in a very, very awkward manner. And after that, the very next ball, Yuvraj Singh was clean bowled by McLaren as he bowled a ball which Yuvraj Singh actually tried to flick it. Normally in his days, Yuvraj would have definitely flicked it for 4 or 6, but today he missed the line. Probably he was beaten by the pace there, and Yuvraj Singh was seeing his stumps being knocked back. He was bowled by McLaren for a duck. Suresh Raina could contribute only 14 runs of 20 balls, but as said, Mahendra Singh Dhoni was the one who was staying there. But well, he definitely got some good support from Jadeja, who contributed 29 of 30 balls with 6 fours. Ashwin also contributed a neat 19 of as many balls with 4 fours, but only as much because after that the tail couldn't really whack for India as Mohit Sharma was out for a duck, Mohammad Shami was out for a duck. Mohit Sharma was not out on duck, in fact. Bhuvneshwar Kumar and Mohammad Shami were out for ducks, and for Dhoni it became too big a task to handle as one would have expected, and finally India's innings were wound up for 217. Thus South Africa winning the first match of this one-day series 1-0 and also leading the 3-match series 1-0. Player of the match went to Quinton de Kock for his brilliant batting, and what an young talent South Africa has unearthed in Quinton de Kock. Yes, definitely we are going to hear a lot about Quinton de Kock in the future, because I think he has really been earmarked for the future by South Africa, and I think now the time has really come because he already has 2 centuries under his belt, and he was named man of the match. Now from South Africa, let's go to the match between West Indies and New Zealand. That is, we are talking about the 4 days play, where one thought that 168 for 2 the other day they showed a lot of application. Well, West Indies continued in the same vein. Yes, they definitely lost 2 wickets quite early, with Marlon Samuels the first to go today, that is on the 4th day, when he was caught and bowled Saudi for 23. In fact, Samuels pushed at a ball from Saudi. He was caught and bowled by Saudi for 23 with 3 fours, and then something that happened which one would have not expected. Probably the one would have expected West Indies would have thought that Chandrapal could really stay there, but well, Chandrapal once again was a victim to an in-dipper, and this time the bowler was Neil Wagner, as the ball actually came in and Chandrapal was beaten by that, and he was elbitably bowled Wagner for 1. And when Chandrapal was gone with the score on 185, I'm sure everybody, even West Indies, would have expected that this is going to be an onerous task for them. Now the only thing that they could do is they could probably try and save the innings defeat, but how would they do that? But let me tell you, yesterday West Indies had a real treat here, I would say, because what happened was once the Marlon Samuels and Chandrapal were gone, suddenly it was Darren Bravos who started giving hope to West Indies by actually first wearing off the bowlers, the pace bowlers, and then slowly getting into his striking stride. And as I said, two strokes of his would have really, for me, it was 2 strokes would have really stood as strokes for the day, as both the balls from Neil Wagner were beautifully put past the cover region for boundaries. And as you know, Bravo is absolute class, and really the crowds at the University Oval in Dunedin would have really got their money's worth to see Darren Bravo in full color here, and one probably thought that one was seeing the yesteryear Brian Lara in action. and Darren Bravo got some good support after that. Narendra came in and offered him tremendous support by adding 122 runs for the 5th wicket, with Darren also, as I said, he was playing second fiddle. He was allowing Darren Bravo to really get on with the game, and then Narendra, after making a very good 52 with 4 boundaries, was a victim of the bowling of Corey Anderson. After that, Dinesh Ramadhan also started giving support to Darren Bravo. So Darren Bravo crossed this century, and slowly his confidence was really getting sky high at the time. And Dinesh Ramadhan was also giving good support, making 24 or 4 balls before a googly from Ish Sodhi, the right arm leg spinner, actually went and hit the stumps of Ramadhan. He was gone for 24. And after that, the score read 363 for 6, and still there was still a long way to go to actually wipe off the lead. At that time, in fact, they were just getting a bit closer, I would say, as far as the lead was concerned. And then Darren Sammy, the skipper, came in. Even though he was hobbling, one has to really appreciate the work that he put in with Darren Bravo, which enabled Darren Bravo to go on to his maiden double century in Test cricket, with the score being taken from 363 to 443 towards close of play, with Darren Sammy contributing an unbeaten 44 with 5 fours and 2 sixes, and he hit Sodhi for 2 sixes down the ground. And look at Darren Bravo's batting. Darren Bravo normally is a player who likes to take the aggressive route, and it was really, as I said, it was great application, dedication, whatever you call it, to really stick it out there. Even though Shevna and Chandrapal was gone, Darren Bravo realized that he was the only person who can actually do that for West Indies by trying to avoid an innings which they have already done. And well, Darren Bravo should, there's greater credit should be given to Darren Bravo, as probably one would have thought the match would have ended on the 4th day, and New Zealand would have been definitely surprised by Darren Bravo's heroics, as he carved an unbeaten 210 to his name with 34s. Darren Sammy was keeping him company towards the end with an unbeaten 44, and 443 for 6 was the final score for West Indies. So just 4 wickets falling yesterday for the West Indians, and well, the lead now for West Indies is 47 runs. We are going into the final day of this particular Test match, and well, if Darren Bravo and Darren Sammy can still see off the first session in the morning, and then probably hope for Shillingford, Tino Best and Shannon Gabriel, probably they could get some 150 runs odd, and probably there are some footmarks. West Indies could really push New Zealand, and one would have thought the match would have turned on its head. But whether that is going to happen at the University Oval in Dunedin in the 5th day is something that we'll have to wait to watch. Let's look at the bowling figures. Tim Southee, 26 overs, 4 maidens, 90 runs and 1 wicket. Trent Boult, 28 overs, 8 maidens, 71 runs and 1 wicket. Neil Wagner, 25 overs, 2 maidens, 1 for 96, 1 for 29 for Corey Anderson. Ish Sodhi toiled hard, 41 overs, 6 maidens, 130 runs and 2 wickets. And we saw some 5 overs of Aaron Redmond spin, 5 overs, 1 maiden, none for 18. So now let's go on to the Ashes Test match. In the second Ashes Test match, as I said, Australia resuming at that overnight score of 273 for 5. Really made England work hard there, and I thought this was a very good partnership. It was a 200 runs partnership for the 6th wicket. It was very important, and I thought that was the right way to go. Michael Clarke and Haddin really stuck it out there, and they played the English bowling on merit, and whenever any loose offerings were there, they were immediately quickly there to latch on that, and that's what enabled Australia to finish at a score of 570 for 9 declared. Michael Clarke, as I said, his 6th century at the Adelaide Oval, and as I said, Michael Clarke could really take Adelaide Oval with him. Such is the dominance that of his batting at the Adelaide Oval, and every opposition has to fear him. As Michael Clarke, and what was good about Michael Clarke's innings was that he was showing nimble-footedness in the sense, one has seen Michael Clarke get into his full element against the spinners, and he's the best player of spin as far as Australia is concerned, and he showed us why by using his feet beautifully to the off spin of Graham Swan and the left arm spin of Monty Panesar. by stroking a lot of boundaries, delightful boundaries at that, and he made 148 with 17 fours. Brad Haddin also played very well. As you know, Brad Haddin, I've been a very great admirer of Brad Haddin over the years, but the only problem with Brad Haddin has been his consistency has been lacking. But here in this particular test series, I'm sure Brad Haddin has definitely showed what he's capable of, and one really knows that Brad Haddin always likes to play straight, and what a knock that was from Brad Haddin, going on to make 118 runs in that partnership with Michael Clarke, with 11 fours and 5 sixes, struck very straight down the ground. And so that was the power of this batting, and that was the partnership which enabled Australia to declare at 570 for 9. Yes, they definitely got another unusual thing which happened with Ryan Harris going on to make an unbeaten 55 of just 26 balls. He played in absolute 54 balls, sorry, but he hit 6 fours and 2 sixes, and all the 2 sixes were hit of the bowling of Graham Swan, and Nathan Lyon finishing not out on 17 of 26 balls, which really frustrated the Englishman, because after Michael Clarke and first Michael Clarke was dismissed, Ben Stokes would have had the proud honour of having his maiden test wicket when he actually had the wicket of Michael Clarke, who actually tried to play the ball through the, I think it was through the square region, and he was caught by Anderson, bowled Stokes, and then after that Mitchell Johnson was caught broad, bowled Swan for 5. Siddle was caught behind of the bowling of Stokes, who got his second test wicket for 2, and then from the score 529 for 9, this partnership took the score on to 570, which enabled Michael Clarke to retire. It was a 41 run, pretty quick partnership, one would say, with Ryan Harris showing a real good stroke making with an unbeaten 55, 6 fours, 2 sixes. Nathan Lyon also slammed a 6 of the bowling of Graham Swan, not out on 17 of 1 4 and 1 6, and there it was Michael Clarke after that over applying the declaration at 570 for 9. Let's look at the bowling figures. James Anderson, 30 overs 10 minutes, 1 for 85, 3 for 98 for Stuart Broad, 2 for 151 for Graham Swan, 1 for 157 for Panesar. Both of them toiled hard. 2 for 70 for Ben Stokes on his test debut, and that would have given him a proud feeling of having taken the prize scalp of Michael Clarke. England in their second innings towards the close, they finished at 35 for 1. As I said, the first wicket to go was Alistair Cook. It was a beautiful delivery from Mitchell Johnson, which also pitched on line of the stumps, and probably Alistair Cook was on his forward defence, and he saw that the ball actually eluding the outside edge of the bat and actually going away, and it was some late movement which Mitchell Johnson got and went on to hit the off stump, and Alistair Cook was walking back to the pavilion, bowled by Johnson for 3. After that, Michael Carberry stayed there, but Michael Carberry and Joe Root also had some misunderstanding. There could have been a clear run out. The run out was missed, and in the final ball, Australia did not review it. Probably Michael Carberry was had actually not made his ground. That was in the final over, but it was something that Michael Carberry lived there, and he was not out on 20 with 4 boundaries, and Joe Root was not out on 9, and England finishing the day on the second day of this second Ashes Test match at 35 for 1. Their primary aim will be to make 370 to actually avoid a follow-on. As far as Mitchell Johnson is concerned, he bowled excellently. The ball that he got the wicket of Alistair Cook was full of pace. It was bowled at 148 Ks, 7 overs 3 minutes, 1 for 9. Ryan Harris 5 overs 4 minutes, none for 3, economical. Nathan Lyon 5 overs, none for 17, and Siddle bowled 4 overs 2 minutes, none for 5. So that's the match situation, dear fans, friends, subscribers. Thanks for patiently listening to these 3 cricket updates. Thanks for your company as always. Your host Ram will be seeing you on your next cricket show, and that will be on a Saturday. As you always know, it's a late edition of Cricket Happenings. Until then, this is your Ram saying goodbye. Thank you.